Save Me a Seat, Chapter 7, Ravi. Okay, so let's see about Chapter 5 and Chapter 6. So, remember Chapter 5, Ravi got home and his mom and his grandma are asking him questions, all about lunch and everything, and then dinner, and they were asking him about if the food at the school was vegetarian and all that, and if he had a friend and all that other stuff. Okay, and then Joe, remember Joe's mom was waiting for him outside the school to pick him up, and then he just walked home because he was so mad at her, and then he didn't even want to eat dinner with her. He grabbed some cookies and went upstairs. Can we talk? His mom wanted to talk and he said no. Okay. I think I'm gonna have to. Okay. Later, after my evening shower, Appa comes upstairs to say goodnight. I didn't even have a chance to ask you how your first day at school was, Ravi. Is it true what Parima says, that there are no other Indians in your class? I tell Appa the truth. There is one other, but he is an ABCD. What sort of fellow is he? Appa asked. Funny, I say, unpopular. Tell him your IQ is 135 and that you were first batsman on your cricket team in Varadarajan school. That should impress him well. I don't need to impress him, I say. He already wants to be my friend. There's no harm in showing off a little. You were top of your class at Vidya Mandir. Does your new friend know that? I don't tell Appa that it's Mrs. Beam, not Dylan, who needs convincing. If my parents find out that she suggested I need special help with my English, they will insist on coming to school to complain. When Amma comes in next to say goodnight, she tells me, I'm making vegetable biryani in the morning for you to take for your lunch with cinnamon sticks and coconut milk, just the way you like it. Okay, let me see if I can find it. Oh, it's not there. B-I-R, biryani. Huh, it's not there. Okay. When Amma comes in next to say, oh, she said that. Thank you, Amma, I tell her, slipping the postcard I received from Pramod a few weeks ago between the pages of Bud Not Buddy to save my place. Mrs. Bean only assigned us the first chapter, but I'm liking the story very much, so I've read up to chapter 8. Don't forget to say your prayers, Raja, Amma reminds me. Then she kisses my forehead and turns out the light. My first day of school in America is over, and though it wasn't perfect, I did make a new friend. Not only that, thanks to Appa, I have an idea of how to fix things with Mrs. Beam. She told us that in the morning we will be starting with math, and that is going to change everything. Dawn, dawn, dawn. Okay, Joe. At 5 o'clock, Mom comes upstairs to tell me the dinner is almost ready. I made a meatloaf, she says. The recipe is from Bon Appetit, so it ought to be pretty good. My mom is a great cook, and even though I don't want to eat dinner with her, I'm so hungry now, I'm actually seeing stars. The phone rings and Mom goes to answer it. I hope it isn't Dad checking in from the road. The last thing I need is for him to get involved in this whole thing between Mom and me. He'd probably just say what he always says, man up, Joe. The whole house smells like meatloaf. I try to ignore it, but I don't have the willpower to pass it up. I pick up my fork and start eating my dinner as fast as humanly possible. If I make sure my mouth is always full, Mom can't expect me to say anything to her. As soon as my plate is clean, I head to my room to read Bud Not Buddy. Mrs. Beam told us to read the first chapter, but it was only 8 pages long, so I decided to keep going. I'm a pretty decent reader when I'm not distracted, plus the story is good. It's about an orphan kid named Bud Caldwell, and there's something about the way he talks that cracks me up. Like instead of saying all of a sudden, he says whoop zoop sloop. I just love the way that sounds, whoop zoop sloop. When Mrs. Beam wrote the assignment on the whiteboard, Dylan turned around in his seat and made a joke, calling it Pud Not Puddy. Mrs. Beam didn't hear it, but Lacey Mulligan did, and she laughed so hard she almost fell out of her chair. Mrs. Beam gave us another assignment too, some corny personal collection project, whatever that is. She didn't write it on the whiteboard with the other homework. Instead, she just told us about it, which means now I can't remember anything she said. I tried to take notes, but she was talking really fast, And then they started mowing the grass under the windows. So the only thing I know is that the project is due on Friday. I wonder if Miss Frost forgot to talk to Mrs. Beam about me. I hear my mom coming up the stairs, so I quickly stash the book under my pillow, roll over on my side, and close my eyes. She knocks a couple of times, then she opens the door a crack. "Joe," she whispers, "honey, are you awake?" Mia is curled up on the bed beside me, and when she sees my mom, she starts wagging her tail, thumping it against my leg like crazy. I lie there like a rock, but I guess Mom can tell I'm not really asleep. "It won't happen again, Joey. No kisses. I promise." When she told me she'd applied for the job, I told her I thought it was a terrible idea, but she needed the work, and Einstein needed a lunch monitor, so who cares if it's the only thing I actually used to like about school is ruined now? Nobody, that's who. "You won't even know I'm there," she tells me. "Yeah, right," I say, then pull the pillow over my head. Dawn, dawn, dawn. So that was Monday, so the next part is Tuesday.